Ito ang mga karumal-dumal na krimen na nababalitaan nating nangyayari sa mga Pogo Hub. Members of Congress to identify the masterminds and protectors behind these illicit operations and hold them accountable so that they can be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. These are heinous crimes.
What's up mga kayo? Welcome back pa rin syempre dito lang sa Joe Malone TV. Tunay na balita, walang kinakampihan, sumasalamin sa katotohanan lamang.
Okay, thank you so much. The next item of our agenda is the welcome remarks of the chairperson of the Committee on Public Order and Safety. Good morning to our esteemed colleagues, resource persons and guests. Welcome to the joint committee, joint meeting of the Committee on Public Order and Safety and the Committee on Games and Amusements. Today, we begin our motu proprio inquiry in aid of legislation into the proliferation of criminal and unlawful acts linked to Philippine offshore gaming operators. In short, the evils of POGOs. Homicide, human trafficking, torture, prostitution, forcible abduction, kidnapping, and serious illegal detention, robbery, extortion, and drug trafficking. Ito ang mga karumal-dumal na krimen na nababalitaan nating nangyayari sa mga Pogo Hub. Idagdag pa natin ang mga cybercrime, money laundering, tax evasion, and other fraudulent practices na isinasagawa ng mga illegal na POGO operators. The fact that these illicit activities are being carried out on a large scale by organized crime syndicates behooves us, members of Congress, to identify the masterminds and protectors behind these illicit operations and hold them accountable so that they can be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. These are heinous crimes and serious human rights violations that affect both our citizens and the foreign workers who are forced to work at these illegal POGOs under cruel and inhumane conditions. Humigit kumulang na 300 na illegal na POGO ang patuloy na nag-ooperate sa iba't ibang lugar ng ating bansa ngayon. Humigit kumulang na 40,000 mga naitalang undocumented Chinese workers ang empleyado rito. Ngunit ilan lang sa ating mga kababayan at mga dayuhang mula sa Vietnam, Malaysia at iba pang karatig bansa ang sapilitang nagtatrabaho rito laban sa kanilang kalooban. Ilan sa kanila ang ngayong naitalang missing persons, innocent individuals who were scammed and forced to become scammers themselves. It likewise behooves our mayors and other local government officials to look into the situation in their localities. If these are licensed internet gaming operators and the corresponding local permits have been issued to them, the LGU should ensure that their regulations are stringently observed. Kung illegal na POGO naman ang nag-ooperate sa lugar nila, dapat lang na alamin nila ito at gawin ang lahat upang tigilan at sugpuin ang pag-usbong ng ganitong mga illegal at immoral na aktibidad sa kanilang lugar. The committee shall scrutinize the business permits and licensing offices of the LGUs to determine whether they wittingly or unwittingly allowed such a criminal enterprise to enter their area of jurisdiction. We would like to assure everyone that this inquiry will be as fair as possible to all concerned. It goes without saying that the committees will examine the capability of our law enforcement agencies, the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, the Philippine National Police, the National Bureau of Investigation in investigating these cases and bringing the criminals to justice. Before I turn over the mic to my co-chair, we would like to express our sincere gratitude and appreciation to our honorable members and resource persons for their presence today. May our collective efforts bear fruit as we work for a safer community for all. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Co-Chair Dan. Esteemed colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga po. offshore gaming is being regulated by the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation, or PAGCOR, to ensure that online games are properly regulated and monitored. It issued rules and regulations for POGO on September 1, 2016. On July 11, 2018, the PAGCOR Board of Directors approved the Offshore Gaming Regulatory Manual, which has served as the main guide over the issuance of offshore gaming licenses and the regulation of offshore gaming licensees. The OGRM has been revised through piecemeal amendments from the observations, experiences, and evaluation in the regulation of offshore gaming operations. On July 12, 2023, PAGCOR came out with the new Internet Gaming Licensing Regulations as a response to recent developments and the needs of the industry. In the new Internet Gaming Licensing Regulations, the term POGO was changed to Internet Gaming Licensee, or IGL. IGLs are said to generate revenues in billions of pesos for the country, but it comes with a price. Crimes linked to it triggered a government probe on how valuable or detrimental to the country its continued operations would be. IGLs have been tied to unlawful activities including human trafficking, money laundering, tax evasion, prostitution, kidnapping, torture, and bribery, prompting some groups to call for a crackdown on their operations. We then ask ourselves if the potential negative impact of POGO far outweighs the economic contribution of POGO operations. That is why the Committee on Games and Amusement, in a meeting conducted on February 12, 2024, approved with amendments House Bill number 5082 and House Resolution number 1197. Both measures provided for the banning of POGOs in the country. Now, the issues or problems arising from the operations of POGO require the collective actions of certain government agencies. With this joint meeting, we hope to identify what or which government agency has the major role in going after the illegitimate POGO operators. Again, we wish to determine finally which among the agencies present is the major role to go after the illegitimate POGO operators. Co-Chair?
Okay, thank you so much. So the next item of our agenda is this is a motu proprio inquiry. Yes, please go. Do so, please.
Before we proceed, we'd like to acknowledge present also for today's meeting Representative Ivan Howard Ginto of Pinuno Party List and Representative Joseph Jojo Lara from the 3rd District of Cagayan. Thank you.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, our resource speakers, members of these two committees, this is a motu proprio inquiry in aid of legislation on the proliferation of criminal activities and unlawful acts linked to our POGOs, with the end in view of recommending corrective actions. And the co-chairs wish to inform the body that the Committee on Rules has granted this authority to us. We thank the Majority Leader for the trust and competence bestowed upon us. For an orderly discussion, we will start with the presentation by the PAGCOR and Chairperson and CEO of the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation, Mr. Alejandro H. Tenco. We have requested yung PAGCOR to discuss its regulations regarding the internet gaming licensing and to raise issues and concerns that the regulatory agency is currently facing with regard to monitoring and compliance of the IGLs. And after that, we will be asking also the DOJ if you have something to brief us, please tell us, and also the NBI, the PNP, and the immigration as well. And finally, we have also requested the Executive Director of the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, retired Police Major General Gilberto D.C. Cruz, to give an update on the complaints filed against personalities involved in POGO criminal activities. Before we start, however, all resource persons are requested to stand for the administration of oath. The committee secretary is hereby directed to take their oath. Okay, before we start, the co-chairs and I, we together would like to inform everyone of our ground rules in conducting this inquiry. Those who wish to propound questions to our resource speakers shall have their names listed with the committee secretariat. Members will be recognized in order that they appear on their list. And at the same time, we'll be asking questions after the presentation and the briefing of all those resource persons we mentioned a while ago. The first member for the minority to have their name listed will be the first to interpolate. Followed by the first
Mr.
member.
Chair,
wait.
I know if
Yes.
we have here the National Security Council.
We
we
have
have in
invited the
attendance.
National Security Council. Then they will
Okay.
be giving us also some
Okay.
briefing.
Thank you.
Each member will have 5 minutes to give their comments and manifestation or ask their questions. The reply of the resource persons is not counted in the 5-minute limit. The speaker, the deputy speakers, the majority leader, the minority leader, and the co-chairs may interject, ask questions at any time. A member who wishes to give their time to another member shall automatically forfeit their slot in the list and will only be listed back upon the request. A member who wishes to interpolate anew may have their name listed for the second round. Lastly, please be reminded to observe proper decorum and basic courtesy in our proceedings. Please address your questions to the co-chairs and wait to be recognized before interjecting, raising a point of clarification, or responding to a query. If there are no questions on the ground rules, we shall now proceed with the proper discussion. Any questions? If none, okay. We'll be asking first the PAGCOR to give us some briefer on the situation of the illegal POGOs in our country and at the same time the legal POGOs. Go ahead, Chairman.
Good morning,
Tenco.
Chairman Fernandez, Chairman Ferrer, and the members of Congress who are present, together with all the resource speakers, guests, ladies and gentlemen. With your permission, I've asked Attorney Jessa Fernandez, the head of our Overseas Gaming Licensing Division or Department, to do the presentation for this morning.
Okay, Attorney Jessa Fernandez, you are recognized.
Good morning to our chairpersons and to the members of the House of Representatives and all present here in this meeting. So, our first slide po, please. Next slide. Yes, so as a brief history of the offshore gaming in the Philippines, offshore gaming has already been in existence in other parts of the country since as early as 2003. However, it was only in August 2016 that it was under PAGCOR through the issuance of the rules and regulations for Philippine offshore gaming operations. So initially, the POGO rules and regulations aim to curtail the proliferation of illegal online games in the country, as well as to ensure that online games are properly regulated, among others. Eventually, in February 2017, then President Rodrigo Duterte issued Executive Order Number 13, which mandates, among others, the territorial jurisdiction of therein stated state gambling regulators in issuing licenses to operate online gaming activities. Thereafter, the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation, through the past Board of Directors, issued the Offshore Gaming Regulatory Manual, which governed the issuance of offshore gaming licenses and the regulation of offshore gaming operations in general. In September 2021, eventually, there became a Republic Act called the Act Taxing Philippine Offshore Gaming Operations, which was signed as part of government's efforts to regulate all forms of gambling. So it introduced the tax regime for offshore gaming licensees and service providers, as well as the foreign employees employed in offshore gaming operations. Now, with all of the incidents that happened in 2023, most especially the raid that has happened in Pampanga, in Sun Valley Clark, the PAGCOR Board of Directors, headed by the chairman, by our present chairman, Alejandro Tenco, approve the new regulations for offshore gaming operations in response to the challenges wherein some licensees and their service providers were found to be involved in fraudulent activities. Next slide po. So to give a brief background po and give this body a better understanding po the difference between the licenses and the authorizations issued by PAGCOR, when we say internet gaming license o yung tinatawag po natin dati na POGO, they should be the one offering a business to consumer game offering. So they carry out online gaming products such as e-casino games, random number generated based games, and sports betting. So sila po ang diretsong nagpapataya sa mga consumers po or patrons that should be outside of the Philippines and should be within the legal age of gambling po. We also issue authorizations to business entities such as gaming content providers. Halimbawa po nito ay yung provider po natin ng live casino games. So, they provide po yung live feeds ng mga dealers natin na nagdi-deal dire-diretso po. Then, yun po yung tinatayaan sa website ng mga B2C licensees po natin. So nagbebenta po ng live feeds itong mga kumpanya na ito para po ito yung i-offer ng ating mga licensees sa kanilang mga online casinos abroad. We also give authorization sa mga creator po ng games or sa developers po ng games, wherein aside po from the live casinos, we have the RNG-based games. Yun po yung mga slot machine games and other types of games po na i-offer po ng B2C licensee o nung tinatawag na IGLs sa kanilang mga websites. Ito po, kaiba doon sa dati po nating framework wherein ang POGO licensee po can have as many as 10 service providers. Ito po yung nihigpitan po natin lalo sa regulations. Pwede po kayong magkaroon ng support provider na magbibigay ng marketing services, customer relations, research and development, or other support to the different facets of operations ng mga online casinos. Pero limited na po ito ngayon sa 2. Pero kailangan nyo pong i-justify. Dati po, basta po mag-apply po kayo as a service provider, pwede na po mga 10. Ngayon po, mahigpit na po tayo. Makikita nyo po mamaya yung number po natin ng support providers. Next po. At this one po is a separate accreditation naman na pinatibay po ng bago nating board is yung special class of BPO. Ito naman po yung mga kilala po natin na BPO service providers and they service legitimate licensed gaming operators abroad. So hindi po sila nagseserbisyo sa mga IGLs natin, kundi sa mga lisensyadong gaming operator abroad. Halimbawa po ng mga clients nila come from the United Kingdom, United States, Canada. Kumbaga po, ito po yung mga malalaki po yung mga gaming companies na sineserbisyohan nila at ang clientele po is sa mga first world countries. Ang maganda pa po dito sa special class of BPO, it is a requirement that the workforce should comprise 90% Filipino employees po. Next po.
I hope the members will not mind it. Yun ay abroad, yung mga international companies ang nag-hire sa kanila.
Yes sir, bali po yung
tapos sa Pilipinos yung mga or yung mga actors or operator dito sa atin?
Iba-iba po. May mga multinational companies po tayo na malalaking BPOs po na kumukuha po sila ng clients na gaming operators abroad, and yung isang division po sa kanila ay pinapa-accredit po nila sa
Okay, I
PAGCOR.
got it. Okay, so thank you. Before you proceed, the chair would like to acknowledge the presence of Congressman Salvador Pleito and Congressman Bonifacio Bosita on the part of the Committee on Public Order and Safety.
For our part, we'd like to acknowledge the presence of Congressman Loreto S. Amante from 3rd District of Laguna.
You can proceed, please.
So, just to give an idea po to the body on the total annual income po of the industry, as you can see po in this presentation, at its peak in 2019, we have a total of 298 licensees and service providers, wherein kumita po ang PAGCOR noon ng nasa 7.9 billion pesos. Pagdating po ng 2020, naging 242 po, kumita po ang PAGCOR ng halagang 5.15 billion pesos po. Then 2021, with 185, kumita po ng 3.47. Bumaba na po dito pagdating po ng pandemic po. And then, noong 2022 po, ang kinita po ng PAGCOR is 2.99. Gusto ko pong i-emphasize dito na bago po dumating yung present administration, the target for the year 2022 was only 2.1 billion. However, with the introduction of new amendments to the regulations and stricter enforcement po when the new leadership came in, napataas pa po natin to 2.9 billion or na-exceed pa po natin yung target na 2.1 billion in 2022. And nakikita nyo po, in 2023 po, inintroduce na po natin dito yung bagong framework, yung Internet Gaming Licensing Regulations. And with the 87 licensees and service providers, na-exceed po natin yung target natin na initially 4.2 billion. Kumita pa rin po tayo with the new regulations, new fee structure, as well as the stricter monitoring ng 5.17 billion. Kahit na po 87 na lang ang natirang licensees and providers at that time sa kabuuan. At ngayong 2024, kasi po nabawasan na naman po ulit, we are still expecting, barring unforeseen circumstances, nakikita pa rin po kami ng nasa 7 billion pesos for the year 2024. Next po.
Singit lang ako. I
Apa.
hope you don't mind the members and briefly din again. So in other words, from 298 to 87, still 5 billion yung nakuha natin. And estimated ninyo magiging 7 billion compared to 2019, almost the same yung makukuha natin. Pero mas mababa yung ating licensee. Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
tama po kayo dun, Mr. Chair. Then, we would also like to show this body po the annual fines and penalties that was imposed po from 2020 up to the present. So, from 2020 po to 2021, ito po, $375,000 and $80,000. Pero pagdating po ng 2022, talaga pong hinigpitan na po namin yung pagpapatupad ng regulations, at kung meron po kaming nakikitang mga violations sa mga sa operations ng licensees po namin, na nag-i-impose po agad kami ng penalties, and in the new regulations, tinaasan po namin ito. So, in 2022, we have imposed a total of 2022 po with the new admin and the new regulations po. We have imposed a total of $702,000 in 2022, $2,430,000 thousand US dollars and 572 po na 570,000 US dollars as of June 2024. So humigit na po ng magkulang 4 na milyong dolyar na po na total fines and penalties ang na-impose sa pamamagitan po ng maayos po na monitoring po ng aming Compliance Monitoring and Enforcement Department at Security Group. Next po. To give also an idea sa body po kasi.
May we ask something lang? What are the common violations that kaya nakasingil kayo ng $2.4 million?
Meron po kaming mga, halimbawa po kasi sir, meron po kaming mga in-issue na violation, halimbawa, na regulations, halimbawa po, kailangan ganito lang po yung number ng mobile phones na ginagamit po ninyo. Hindi po kayo pwedeng maglagay ng ganitong application sa inyong mga computers. O kaya naman po, meron pong nakikitaan sa kanila ng halimbawa, meron po sa kanila nakitaan na hindi po dala yung passports o hindi po napresenta ng kanilang empleyado agad. So, we want po kasi na pati po yung ibang regulations ng mga iba't ibang agencies na honor po namin para po mas maayos po yung takbo ng operations ng mga licensees. Dito naman po ngayon po, gusto po namin ito bigyan diin yung mga number of employees po. Kasi po, every month, we require our licensees, service providers, and CBPO to report po the manpower count of their companies. So as of June 2024, makikita po natin na meron na pong 31,369 Filipino employees and 35,465 employees na foreign nationals. So a total po of 66,834 direct hires pa lang po. So sila po yung diretsyong empleyo po ng mga licensees and service providers. So unlike po before, wherein masyado po talagang malaki ang difference ng foreign nationals to Filipinos, ngayon po mas marami na po o 1:1 na ang dami po ng empleyado ng Filipino to foreign nationals po. Also, ito po sa SCBPO, yung nabanggit ko po na 90% po dapat ng kanilang manpower ay Filipino. Halos higit 5,000 na po ang ating mga empleyado. So 5,017 for Filipinos and 151 foreign nationals po. So talaga pong marami pong Pilipino na nabibigyan ng trabaho dito sa mga special class of BPOs na ito. And mahigpit po namin pinapatupad na talagang 90% po dapat ng kanilang manpower must be Philippine nationals po. Sa isa pong request ng House regarding issues and concerns in monitoring, isa po talaga sa pinakakinakaharap po natin is yung proliferation of illegal online casinos. So, despite po kasi ng effort natin to monitor effectively and report such illegal activities, so as baka po narinig po ninyo in the news during the Senate hearing, almost 7,000 websites have already been reported to the National Telecommunications Commission and the DICT by PAGCOR. Starting pa lang po ito ng 2022 nung umupo po yung new leadership. Pero almost 5,000 pa lang po talaga ang shutdown po dito sa mga 7,000 po na na-report po natin na websites. And aside from that, bukod po sa mga online casinos, marami din pong illegal operators na nakikita po natin, meaning hindi po sila kumuha ng lisensya sa PAGCOR to become an IGL, a service provider, or a special class of PPO. Nakikita din po natin that the illegal operators have employed countermeasures to mask illegal activities. Also, next slide po, rapid growth of illegal casinos through social media. Ito po, napapansin po namin at namomonitor din po namin na marami pong mga influencers ang gumagamit po ng platform nila such as Facebook, TikTok, YouTube to encourage prospective players to try their luck in legal platforms. So, pinopromote po nila ang website or ang isang laro, halimbawa po yung mga wheel of whatever po, na maglaro kahit na po wala po yung lisensya sa PAGCOR. So, ito pong mga illegal game offerings na to, kamukha din po sila ng mga ibang games na ino-offer po ng mga legal, but they have no player protection. We cannot help po the players who will play in that platform pag nagkaroon po sila ng problema. Wala po silang contribution to the country's gross gaming revenue. Wala rin po silang customer verification. So, marami pong mga kabataan ang maaari pong makapaglaro sa mga illegal platforms po na ito. And then, next po. Aside from these, hindi po little by little rapidly, nagkakaroon po tayo ng mas sophisticated technology. So even po the PAGCOR logo, whether old and new, are being used by illegal operators, whether local or abroad, without authority of PAGCOR to entice players and mask on their illegal operations. So we have received reports po of gaming websites using the PAGCOR logo para po makapag-engganyo po sila ng mga players na maglaro sa kanilang platform. So ito po, syempre po, minomonitor po natin ito and nire-report po natin sa proper authorities, but mahirap po na makita po lahat at hindi po lahat ay nabablock. And lastly po, we also think that it's a concern for us that we rely on law enforcement agencies. While we do not intend to get enforcement powers, but our current regulations po are not enough to tackle issues not within the scope of gaming operations or as mandated by our charter. We have in view of this, we have to constantly cooperate with various government and law enforcement agencies to assist in combating illegal operations, whether online or not. And next slide po. And kung tatanungin po kami kung ano pa po yung mga plans po namin for offshore gaming, konti lang po ito sa mga plano po namin. Gusto po naming mag-employ ng 24/7 monitoring sa lahat po ng operating sites. And we are planning po to remove the framework for the hubs. Sa ngayon naman po ay meron lang po tayong isang hub. And we would like to impose higher fines and penalties to erring licensees and service providers. And gusto pa rin po naming patuloy-tuloy na strengthen yung cooperation namin with law enforcement agencies dahil malaki po talaga ang tulong nila para po prevent po namin at ma-solve po yung mga illegal activities ng mga hindi po licensees. And we would like also to strengthen cooperation with other government agencies such as the Department of Labor and Employment, Bureau of Immigration, para po naman ito sa mga empleyado po na nasa pangangalaga po ng mga licensees natin para ma-ensure po natin yung compliance nila with all the Philippine rules and regulations. So that would be the end of my presentation po. Thank you.